Okay, this is another paid video, so I'm going to read out the questions first. So he said, "Good afternoon, Lion King. Please, I need your help. I've been using a Peugeot 407 with EW12J4 engine and the automatic transmission for 2 years now, which I bought as Nigerian use but neat. The issue is with my AC. I can't use it during dry season because as soon as it reaches 90 or very close to 90 degrees Celsius, overheating my alarm signals and continues till it's turned off. I don't usually have this problem during rainy season. I changed my radiator to double cell and changed the temperature switch, still no difference. A friend of mine who uses Peugeot 407 advised I change the fan to a bigger one. What do you think? Thanks a lot for your videos, which is helpful to Peugeot users. Okay, now let me start by saying, well, I will still say congratulations for your Peugeot. It's just that you've been using it for a while anyway. So, but then I said the issue is with AC. So, your car start giving you engine overheating issue once you start using your AC during hot afternoon and not without or when you are not using AC. So in other words, the issue only comes up with AC, not without AC. So he said when it reaches 90 degrees Celsius, or even before it gets there, it start giving you overheating warning issue. See, but what I could tell you is your car has a serious what's it called, electrical problem. All these ones you said you done changing this and that, you just been beating about the bush. You know, it has an electrical problem. Could be minor, could be major. Because also if 90 degrees Celsius is not even what's it called, when your fan is even supposed to come up. Your fan is even supposed to stay off until about 95 to almost 98 degrees Celsius. That's when your fan will even come up. In fact, on Peugeot 407, some of them that I know have checked very well how the system works. The fan actually comes up around 105, between 102 and 105 degrees Celsius. That's when your fan will start spinning, if the fan is still factory connected. So if your own doesn't even reach 90 degrees Celsius and start spinning, then there's a serious issue with your electrical system, with or without AC. Now, you said your car, the issue comes up with the AC running. So in other words, it's possible, or most likely there's an abusive wiring connection done on the AC system. Remember that the AC works with the engine ECU. And it's the engine ECU that is telling you your car is overheating. It's not your AC system, it's your engine ECU. The engine ECU is the one they call brain box. So something is wrong. Either your engine ECU is faulty, or there's a wrong wiring connection somewhere. Or also could be, I don't know, but then you say it only comes up with the when you start using your AC. So, or it could be your instrument panel. That's your coolant temperature gauge is faulty on your instrument panel and doesn't read correctly. So when you put on the AC or without AC, it reads normal, even though it may be reading below. But when you put on AC, it starts overheating and doesn't actually show the true temperature of the vehicle. In fact, all this thing I'm just doing, more like what likely could be the scenario, because I'm not there. I didn't diagnose your car to know what's going on. But looking at what it could be. Unless if your coolant temperature gauge without AC doesn't get to 90 degrees Celsius, or when it gets to 90 degrees Celsius, it doesn't give you this overheating warning, then the problem is not your instrument panel or your coolant temperature gauge. But if it actually gets to 90 degrees Celsius without AC and no problem, and if the AC now, if with AC start giving you the problem at 90 degrees Celsius, that is not your instrument panel, is something else. But if the temperature, coolant temperature gauge on your instrument panel only stops around 70 degrees Celsius or less, thereabout, doesn't get to 90 without AC, then your coolant temperature gauge is not functioning well. In other words, my question is because even without AC, your coolant temperature gauge should be at 90, 105, then it fluctuates between 90 to 105. So does it mean your coolant system has been bypassed or abused? Did you remove the thermostat, or you're running your fan constantly, or your fan is constantly spinning? I mean your engine cooling fan. Did they bypass the factory connection and run it direct? You know, I always tell people, avoid, especially 407, that's even the worst scenario. If you go and bypass your cooling fan, especially on 407, do it the way Nigerians do. They abuse the connection. Remember that it's your engine ECU that controls that fan. So if you do any kind of wrong connection on that wiring, this thing is going to damage your engine ECU. Most times when you buy a Nigerian used for the 407 and the fan is connected directly before the purchase, I always tell the user, have at the back of your mind that you may end up changing the engine ECU, because what will not happen is by the time you reverse it back to factory, you realize that the engine ECU is no longer controlling the fan, it has been damaged. So the ECU, which you will know during the inspection, because you will not reverse it. The owner, of course, how dare you to go and start tampering with the wire or when you are inspecting a car. So you only have that right or permission to do it when the car becomes yours or when you purchase it. So that's the only time you will now know if, after reversing the wiring connection back to factory, will the engine ECU be able to still control the fan as designed. In that case, you may end up, like I say, if it doesn't work, then your ECU is fault. You have to change it. So those are the dangers in buying Nigerian used cars. You know, unless you buy one that they didn't tamper the wiring connection, then you know you will not have that issue or may not face that challenge. Because, like I said, not everybody that have buy a 407 Nigerian use, the fan has been bypassed and they reverse it and the fan will start work. The fan will no longer work as designed. It's not everybody. Some, or it's only if you are lucky, you will be in that situation. Okay, so my issue is with it. If truly your coolant temperature gauge is working very well, then your car is not overheating. There's an issue with your system. Your car is not overheating. So there's a strong, serious electrical issue, which could be the engine wiring harness or electrical one connection done somewhere, or the ECU itself. You know, you yourself, you said you even changed the CTS, coolant temperature sensor, and the issue continues. So you now know what your issues are. You'll be wasting money changing waters. That's why I tell people, get an expert involved when you are buying cars. Get an expert involved. I don't know what people see in trying to say. It's like what all this couple 30,000, 20 you're trying to save, you find that you waste it more and more. Because if I've been the one to as inspect, if I inspected that car, I would have state out all these things. So that I'll tell you, see, you're going to have this issue if you buy this car. You're ready to do it. If you're not ready, then walk away. If you are ready, then go ahead. If the electrical connection has been messed up so badly, I won't even bother to tell the owner to buy. I'll just tell you, see, don't even waste, walk away. Leave it. Let another person carry that burden. Because you may end up spending hundreds of thousands before the issue is resolved. Once you are ready to do that. Which some of these things we even want to get involved with, because some electrical issues can be so time consuming that at that time may not be emotionally ready, because can be emotionally strenuous trying to find one connection somebody did somewhere that is hidden. You may not even know, and your scanner will not tell you. You just keep scattering the entire wire. See, you guys don't even have a clue. So that's why I tell people, avoid buying Nigerian used car if you don't have an expert to inspect the vehicle for you. Otherwise, you'll be having all these kind of or similar issues. Moving on. He said, I changed my radiator to double cell and changed the temperature switch, no difference. A friend of mine who uses Peugeot 407 advised I change the fan to a bigger one. I don't know, EW12, I don't understand what you mean by double cell, because as far as I'm concerned, all EW12J4 engine, whether in Peugeot 407, 406, whatever, their radiators are very big. In other words, they don't use single cell radiator. So I don't know who is telling you how you come about changing to so-called double cell. The radiator that they come with is good enough by factory, almost similar to that of EW10J4. So the idea of changing to something, just to me, is you're wasting your money. It was a wasted money. There's no other type of radiator that will work as better than the factory one as far as EW12. I'm not saying, I'm just focusing EW12 concerned. The one, unless the previous owner put something else, the owner that used it in Nigeria before you purchase the car, put one that is not meant for that engine. But as far as one that can, you don't, changing it to something else is as if you just put fuel on, bring out the money, you purchase it and pour fuel on it to burn. I know, I personally understand and know all this system, these engines. I know, so their cooling system and understand them. So I'll be the last person to go and tell you, no, put a V6 radiator. I mean, because I don't know which other type of radiator you put, unless it's not a Peugeot radiator. Because as far as an EW engine is concerned, they basically use the same radiator. So which other radiator will you put? A V6 one? I don't know. So you just wasted that money, and which you also could have testified here that there was no difference after the change. So these things you guys need to be getting experts involved, or people that understand this system, not just anyhow quack mechanic or electrician. So what do you think? So I've already explained what I think. Now what you need is someone to properly diagnose that vehicle. Stop spending money. Stop. Just stop. The next money you spend is to have it properly diagnosed electrically. Stop wasting your money mechanically. Let's assume your head gasket has been affected. Because from what I'm seeing here, the issue is most likely electrical. That's what he's suggesting. But like I said, I don't know how good your coolant temperature gauge it is. I can find out, but I can't find out remotely. I have to physically, if I were to do it physically, do my test and know how good your coolant temperature gauge is, so that I'll know, okay, it's working well. Because it's possible that your engine actually overheats, but your coolant temperature gauge doesn't show. Because at 90 degrees Celsius, it's not overheating. Your engine will only overheat when it exceeds 110 degrees Celsius on that temperature gauge. So at 90, it's not overheating. So as it is for now, everything is suggesting there's nothing wrong with your mechanicals in terms of this issue. It's electrical. So you need someone that can be able to diagnose your car. If you are in Abuja, I can do it for you. But a case like this, my charge is 10,000 naira. And when you bring your car, you leave it. You don't, no pressure. I always tell people, for this kind of things, you have to be willing and ready. You know when you know you won't be able to use you can give up using the car for a while, for some days. You leave the car with me. Charge you the 10,000. When I'm done with the diagnosis, I will tell you these are your issues. These are the cost of repair if you want me to do it for you. If you want another person to do it, I'll still tell you what the issues are and what you need to do. Let that person now go ahead and do it. If you want me to do it, then we'll discuss the repair cost. It could be that you may require replacing some parts or a part, or may not require replacing anything. Maybe there's a wrong connection. Then I'll tell you this one we need to do, and this my charge to reverse the connection back to factory so that issue will go away. When I'm done with your car, you come and take it. That's how I operate. Especially on issues like this, because like I said, it's a severe issue. So it's not that people will bring and be on my neck, standing, expecting me to spend within 5 minutes to tell them issues that somebody or previous user have been accumulating, expecting me to fix it within 5 days or within 5 minutes, you know. So that's how I operate. Or if you know another person, then you have to take it to that person. Like I said, you need an expert on this, especially electrical. I do both mechanical and electrical, but at least in this case, you need an electrical source. So if you can afford the 10,000, if you are within Abuja environment or so, you at least you know my conditions now. So it's not up to you, or find somebody else. This issue will be resolved. It might even require the person the ECU. Like I said, until I'm done with my diagnosis, I'll tell you what it is. If you can't afford the repairs, at least you know what your issues are. When you can afford it, you deal with it. Rather than wasting all this money going from a B to A, an issue remains. So I hope other people too will learn lesson from your own case. Don't buy, don't if you have no technical knowledge on detecting abused Peugeot vehicles, don't go there and buy this car yourself. Pay someone that understands these things to save you from this trouble. Even if you still want to buy the car, at least you know this is what you're going in for. And if you're pricing, you know how you price, or you will not be taken unawares with this kind of issues. When you have made your purchase, keep wasting money changing parts that are not good. Sometimes you remove good parts, put bad ones in the time to troubleshoot, because people you are giving to most time will be quack. They will be complicating, messing it up for you. The next thing, now you jump online and start condemning Peugeot cars as nightmares. Something, that small money you pay someone to use this experience to save you from that stress would have prevented to you end up with this. So I hope, like I said, other people must have learned from this video. Okay, that's all. So if you want me to do the handle it for you, you have my contact or WhatsApp already, so you can continue our conversation from there. All right, that's all for this video.